In today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet the rag rug that I'm sitting on right now. Hi, my name is Matilda and welcome back to Miss Matti, the channel where I share all about sewing, knitting, DIYs, mending, upcycling, as well as how to figure out how to live an awesome and sustainable life. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make the rag rug that I'm sitting on right now. I made a similar rag rug around 3 years ago, and many of you have seen it on Instagram, other videos, and many of you have asked me if I could share a tutorial on how to make that rug, and it's finally here. And I also have made a rag rug basket with a similar technique but in a square shape, and if you're interested in that, you can check out that video as well. When I made the first rug, I didn't have that much funds to decorate my home, so I set myself a challenge on what can I make with things that I already have. And at the same time, I put myself on a challenge to not throw away any textiles, to not let any textiles go to landfill. And I had seen a crocheted round rag rug on Pinterest. I couldn't find any tutorial on how to make it, but I know how to crochet, so I just winged it. And all you need is old t-shirts that you make into yarn. You need scrap yarns. And when it comes to the crochet skills, you only need basic crochet skills. You can be a beginner and pull this project off really well. You only need to know how to make a slip stitch, a magic ring, and single crochet. That's all you need to know, and that is something that you can master really quickly if you just take your time to learn the basics of crochet. I've talked enough. Let's get into the tutorial and show you how you can make your own. You will need t-shirt yarn, scrap yarn, and a crochet hook. Pick the yarns you want to start with. I went with a hot pink yarn and a light grey t-shirt yarn. Start by making a magic ring with your scrap yarn. Then chain 2 stitches. And then into the ring, crochet 6 single crochets. Slip stitch into the first single crochet to close the round. Now it's time to add the t-shirt yarn. Hold the yarn next to the work where the new round will start. Pull your crochet hook into the next stitch in the circle. Wrap the yarn over the hook and the t-shirt yarn and draw the yarn through the work only. Then wrap the yarn again around the hook and the t-shirt yarn and pull through both of the loops. Now the first single crochet is made. Then continue making another single crochet into the same stitch, and then continue to make 2 single crochets into each stitch in the circle, wrapping the scrap yarn around the t-shirt yarn in the process. Once it's time to complete the round, make sure to wrap the end of the t-shirt yarn into the work. You can also do so by pulling the end into your work with your hook. The rug is made into a continuous circle with the scrap yarn wrapped around the t-shirt yarn. To make sure your rug is increased enough in size to lay flat, you will need to increase 6 stitches each round. As such, on the 3rd round you will increase every other stitch so that you will have 18 stitches in total. And on the 4th round, you will increase every 3rd stitch, 24 stitches in total, and so forth. You might have noticed that this is a total practice of the 6 timetable. I find it helpful to have a stitch marker in the beginning of the round to help me make the right amount of increases for each round. Once I established my increases, I do not count the stitches anymore, and instead I just make sure to increase into my previous increases. I decided to switch colors of yarn as I went along making the rug. When switching colors, all you need to do is tie the ends of the yarn together and continue to crochet around the t-shirt yarn. When it's time to attach a new piece of t-shirt yarn, cut a little hole in the middle of the yarn and pull through a new piece of yarn. Then continue to crochet around the yarn. sure to have fun, mix and matching colors. I used the same light grey t-shirt yarn here, but having hot pink followed by baby pink and now mustard yellow, I am creating a completely different look. When switching t-shirt yarns, I continued to cut the little hole in the middle at the yarn, but I found it helped to also have the ends in place with a couple of pins. This rug was made over the course of 2 months. It's far from hard to make once you master the basic principles. However, be aware that this project takes time, especially as the rug gets bigger and bigger. Therefore, make sure to take many breaks whilst making your rug. Crochet can be strenuous for your arms and shoulders if you crochet during a prolonged period of time. Therefore, try to work a little bit every day instead of a big chunk of time once in a while. The footage of this video was in total 4.5 hours long, and then I didn't even film the whole process, and that gives you a little bit of a sense how long it took for me to make this rug. And now let's enjoy a very speeded up process of the rag coming together. As you work on your rug, make sure to pull away any ends of yarn to make sure that they're properly tucked away in the rug. I wanted my rug not to be the same as the old rug, but I wanted them to be able to work together color-wise and be around the same size. As such, I pulled out my rug in progress on top of the old rug to see how much more work I needed to do. as well as which colors to use. I didn't have any orange like the old rug had, but I had red and purple t-shirt yarn left, which I wanted to create a warm look with. Before doing my final rounds, I held the edge of my rug towards other sections of the rug to get an idea which colors it would look good to finish it with. I decided to go for white and hot pink with a purple t-shirt yarn to finish it off. Once you're about to finish the rug, crochet until you reach the stitch marker, if using. Then cut the end of your yarn so that it looks like a pointy triangle. Single crochet around the yarn until you come to the pointy end. Then instead of a single crochet, slip stitch, and then pull the yarn through the loops. Once I made it, I didn't like the gap of no white yarn at all. It made it look unbalanced, so I decided to finish it off with white yarn all around. As I had cut the t-shirt yarn off, I had to add another piece, and then I single crochet around until the white yarn almost meet. Then I cut out another pointy end and single crochet until reaching the end. Then I made a slip stitch before pulling the yarn through all the loops, and then I cut off the yarn, leaving a long tail. Then I pulled the pointy end in towards the work on the back with my hook, as well as the end of the joined pieces of yarn. I also made sure to smoothen out any bulky areas on my rag rug, pulling them inside the yarn. With a darning needle, I pulled the long tail of yarn on the back of the rug along the last stitches of the last round. Cut off any excess yarn. The rug is done, but before calling the project complete, I had to block it. I decided to go for hand washing the rug, but you can also block it using a steamer or press it with an iron. Before letting my rug dry in its proper shape, I made sure to get as much water out of the rug as possible by rolling it up in a towel, pressing out any excess water. Then I let the rug lay flat to dry on a couple of towels. To ensure the rug stayed in shape, I did put a couple of weights on top of the rug on some plastic bags that had sneaked into my life. I did this to prevent rust to transfer to the rug. You can also use books to help a rug flatten. Just make sure your books do not get damp. And finally, after many hours of work, my rug is now complete. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I really hope you find it helpful. And if you did, hit that like button and share it with a friend who you think will love this project as well. If you make a t-shirt rug like this, don't forget to tag me on Instagram at Miss Matti. I would love to see what you make. And also, if you are interested in more upcycling projects and other DIY tutorials and generally how to live an awesome and sustainable life, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, hej då!